that go? Oh, thank you. I need that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yes, today is Guru Purnima, and also it's the disappearance day of our Sambandha Gyanacharya, Sanatana Goswami. So first we'll sing the Saparsara Gauda Viraha Vilap, the separation, lamentation due to the separation of the Lord with his devotees. It's the last page of the songbook, if anybody doesn't know. Yeya nilo premadana karuna prachur premadana karuna prachur Heno Prabhu Kotagela Acharya Thakur Heno Prabhu Kotagela Acharya Thakur Kahamora Swarup Rupa Kasanatan Swarup Rupa Kasanatan Kahadasaragunada Patita Pavan Kahamora Bhadan Yuga Kaha Kaviraj Bhadan Yuga Kaha Kaviraj Ekakale Kotagela Gaura Nataraj Tagera Gaura Nataraj Pashane Kutivo Mata Anale Pashibo Ashane Kutibo Mata Anale Pashibo Goranga Guneraniri Kotagile Babo Niri Kotagile Babo Se Saba Sangira Sange Ye Koilo Bilash Sangira Sange Ye Koilo Bilash Se Sangana Paya Kande Narotamadas Yeya Nilo Premadana Karuna Prachur Nilo Premadana Pranuna Prachur Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parakacharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Premseko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Shri Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Shri Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Sri, the translation, he who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivasacharya gone? Where are my Sarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta? And where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Das simply weeps. Om Jnanatirmandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Minitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. I was blinded by the darkness of ignorance, and my Gurudev gave me the light of knowledge, and thereby is leading me out of that nescience. And today we're commemorating that Guru, that light that we all hold in our hearts and in our lives, which is known as Guru Purnima. So this is the Purnima, the full moon day, and this particular full moon enlightened day is dedicated to the Guru, our Guru Dev. We in the Gaudiya Vaishnavas tend to glorify our Guru every single day. In Mangalarti, we glorify him from the reciting and the in-depth sort of examination of the Guru Vastika, which talks about the glories of the spiritual master and how the spiritual master actually does give us that enlightenment. He steers us towards Krishna. That's his promise to us. The Guru's promise to us is that he will take us back to Godhead, that he will steer us towards pure devotional service. And to that end, our very own Sanatana Goswami, and I say that with much love and affection because Sanatana Goswami, as we in this Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage know, he's one of our acharyas, he's in our sampradaya, but he's also what's known as the Sambandha Acharya. He's the leader or the giver of the knowledge of how to connect with Krishna, how to revive our relationship with Krishna, how to know Krishna. And he propounds in so many literatures that we'll just touch on briefly, Sanatana Goswami propounds by way of Krishna's instruction, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, actually advised Sanatana Goswami how best to present this devotional service. And when we speak about Sambandha or connecting to Krishna, it's not just simply, of course there's the 9 processes of devotional service, but we have to have a practical working knowledge of how to connect with Krishna, right? We're jiva souls, we have the 4 defects in Kali Yuga, and we don't really know how we can connect with Krishna. And Krishna's Krishna is kind of an esoteric concept until we actually begin to get to know him. So in the Sambandha, as a Sambandha Acharya, Sanatana Goswami elucidated all of that for our benefit. And not only did he elucidate it through literatures, but he actually lived it. You know, when he was in Vrindavan, and we'll just give a little bit of the timeline. When he was in Vrindavan, he dug into Vrindavan. You know, he wasn't just there. I know I, and probably many others, when thinking about the Goswamis and hearing about the Goswamis, were thinking that they're doing their bhajan all day. They're sitting in a solitary place. They're perhaps writing. They're meditating. They're chanting. They're doing all these things so they can actually, connect with Krishna and revive. I mean, they don't have to revive anything because they're pure devotees, but they can connect with Krishna. They're actually giving us the example, of remembering chanting like that. But Sanatana Goswami, he was our greatest, I'm going to go on a limb and say he was probably our greatest emblem of, can someone unlock that door? That door should always be unlocked, actually. It's an exit. It's an emergency exit. Thank you. Sanatana Goswami is one of our greatest emblems of how best to execute devotional service, how we can revive our consciousness so we can understand that we are servants of Krishna and how we can actually serve Krishna best. And I meant to bring over one of his texts. I could probably find it online, but I was reading over it again, and I've read it several times because it's quite fascinating. One of the greatest texts that Sanatana Goswami put together was the Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is actually in the Madhya Lila, chapter 24. It starts around maybe text 320. It's the whole text the whole chapter is based on the explanations of the Atmarama verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, of which, is one of the most important verses that we know of. And in this chapter of the Madhya Lila, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami are speaking about this verse. And mostly Lord Chaitanya, because Sanatana Goswami, being a very humble, extremely humble servant and humble disciple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually inquired submissively, which is what we're taught to do. As aspiring bhaktas, we're taught to inquire submissively to the spiritual master and ask him, how may we serve? What is pleasing to you, and thereby what is pleasing to Krishna, since the Guru is the localized expansion of Krishna himself. That's actually the position of the Guru, the spiritual master. The bona fide Guru has many qualities, and it's a minute, in minute portions to Krishna himself. Minute or greater, depending on the person, but definitely minute, since we're jivas, and we're conditioned souls in this world. But the Guru, we're talking about Guru Purnima, is also a pure devotee. He's at the highest level. He's at the highest level of knowing what pleases Krishna and how best to serve Krishna. And the Guru actually engages each of us based on our psychophysical nature on how we personally can actually serve Krishna. And it's interesting because in my personal experience, I can honestly say that I really would have never predicted that I would be serving the mission or Krishna or the Guru in the way that I am now. Could never have imagined. But, the Guru is very expert. He's like an expert surgeon. He's able to dissect our psychophysical nature, so we're able to come to the highest platform of devotional service. If we're really locked into our devotional service, as the Guru propounds, and the Guru has instructed us, there's no limit to the realization that we can get. There's no limits to what the knowledge that will be bestowed upon us by dint of that devotional service and that reciprocation from Krishna for having surrendered and heard from the Guru and now one is executing that devotional service. There's no limit to the realizations that are received. So Sanatana Goswami and his brother Rupa and his younger brother Anupama, and that wasn't their names at birth, that weren't their names at birth, but they were known, actually the Anupama's name was Vallabha, Rupa's name was Santosh, and I think Sanatana Goswami was, it was something really brief, I can't think of it right now. But they were all born in a Brahminical family, so they were born Brahmins, and they came from a long lineage of Brahmins. They were actually born into the topmost knowledge of devotional service and in the bhakti tradition. And at some point in their lives, and it was actually when their father had left the planet suddenly, that Rupa and Sanatan took up service in the government. Back then that was considered sort of that you were fallen if you were from a Brahminical family and then you took up this sort of non-Brahminical work, particularly in a Muslim government. That was really, really fallen. So they worked in that way for some time, and they were highly, highly respected. They were very rich. The king, the Muslim king, was very pleased with their performance. He showered them with gold. They were living the high life in that, particular incarnation of their lives. And then by some chance meeting, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come through their neck of the woods in Goda Desh. And, that turned that desire to partake of devotional service, that flipped that switch back on. And Rupa Goswami wasn't in as much of a high position. He was a secretary in the government. And so he was kind of able, when he had that calling to regain his constitutional position serving Krishna, he kind of just bowed out. Rupa Goswami, he was able to back out gracefully. Sanatana Goswami was in a little bit higher position. He was actually a treasurer, so he had much more responsibility, and he was very, very, very trusted. If you're in a position where you're dealing with money, you have to be utmost trusted by, whoever's the authority. So he was a trusted advisor, a trusted, person that handled all of the finances like that. But he was also not into it anymore. So he wanted to get out. So he was feigning sick for a while. He was staying home. He was reading the Bhagavatam. He had had a dream that somebody was going to, a Brahmin was going to give him a Bhagavatam. And then he woke from that dream, and it wasn't true. But then the next day, it actually happened. So he foresaw that gift. And when the Bhagavatam comes to you unsolicited, the Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, and broken down in sort of the terms that everybody can understand. That's a gift to us. That's a gift to all of us that actually Prabhupada has given to us as well. It's the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he received the Bhagavatam, and that was kind of the deciding factor that he really didn't want to do that anymore. And he relayed that to the king in so many ways, and the king had them thrown in jail, and he was able to bribe his way out, and he traversed over mountains and had many adverse circumstances for him to reach the home or the location of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time. And once he did, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized him because he was actually Lavanga Manjari in Krishna's pastimes, So they were eternal associates, obviously. When he reached Lord Chaitanya, he was able to convey through very few words that he was surrendering to him. He was there to learn from him. He was, if you go through that much adverse circumstances to reach a goal, that the person, when you reach that goal, it's very sweet, and the person at the other end can see, okay, this is a very sincere personality. And from that moment on, Lord Chaitanya started elucidating this whole philosophy of bhakti. The bhakti, as Prabhupada used to say, the bhakti cult. He began to instruct him, and Sanatana Goswami was hungry for that. He wanted to know how best to serve. He could recognize Lord Chaitanya was Krishna himself. How can I serve Lord Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So finally, when he was kind of given his main instructions to go to Vrindavan, he went to Vrindavan and he actually lived at Govardhan. He was a Govardhan Basi, Sanatana Goswami. And he didn't just live at Govardhan and, chant and kind of be a bhajananandi. He wasn't that way. He was actually such a humble personality, and he was so understanding of this mood of Sambandha Gyan that he integrated, into the Govardhan life. So much so that he would just go from village to village to village. And if anybody has been on the Govardhan Parikram, there's many villages around Govardhan. And each little village everybody has their own little village life. You can see, when you go through, for instance, Jatipur, you can see they're very focused on their little temple there where, they have their practice and they have their life. They have their individual little lives, the village. And Sanatana Goswami would just go from village to village. He was a very effulgent and learned personality. He would actually connect with all of the Dambasis in Govardhan. And he would speak with them about their family life. He would give them advice. He would talk to them about how to better grow vegetables for Krishna, or how to, make ghee wicks, or what items are offerable and what aren't. He was actually like an authority on these things because, again, in the Atmarama explanations of the Atmarama verse in the Madhya Lila, it's chapter 24, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu elucidated everything that he wanted Sanatana Goswami to convey to society at large on how to connect with Krishna, how to serve. That's what we're discussing here, is how to best yield devotional service to Krishna. That's the connection that we have. That's what we've been afforded somehow, even though we're all very fallen. I'm sure we all have our own degrees of how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our relationship with Krishna, how we are serving Krishna. But he was actually elucidating in easy to understand terms what that means. Actually, he was breaking it down, for us, because how can we know? We have these imperfect senses. We have tendency to cheat, to make mistakes. We have all these things. We need something that we can actually refer to, and that's what he wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas for. To bit by bit tell us how we should act as a disciple. Because once we once we actually start this bhakti process, and it's stated in all of our literatures, from the Bhagavad Gita, obviously from Arjuna inquiring submissively from Krishna, to the Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course in the Chaitanya Charitamrita particularly, we're all learning that devotional service must be executed under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. It must. We can't really concoct and fabricate our own ideas of what Krishna likes or how we can serve Krishna. We have to listen and inquire submissively from our Gurudev, and or read all of these literatures as put forth by Srila Prabhupada, who is everyone's Gurudev. We must understand that Sanatana Goswami was instrumental in trying to help us understand these things as well, you know, and he was helping the Govardhan Basis. He was going around Govardhan every day, and they felt such affection for him. He was like their grandfather. He was like their affectionate uncle, you know. He was like, you know, everybody's brother, cousin brother, all the things, you know. He put himself out there for everybody to learn from, and so everybody could connect with too on that little level, you know, kind of in the way the Guru does, you know. Every single day, to me, every single day is Guru Purnima. Every single day, because every day, you know, because I wake up, and you know, the mind has so many ideas of what it wants to do. You know, what do I do today? What do I, you know? No, you know, that's the mind, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, has to be beat with a shoe each day. And then we can remember, okay, right, I have to click back into my service. And, you know, the more you're in it, I'll say, the less difficult that is, maybe, although some days are a little more difficult than others. But, you know, you can actually, it's kind of like riding a bike. You know, you immediately think, okay, what's on my to-do list today? And, you know, that's what Prabhupada's propounding and our Gurudev is propounding, that we have to have that instruction every single day. We have to keep that in our minds every day. And remember what the Guru's instructions are every day, not just one day a year, not on Guru Purnima. You know, I mean, it's a good excuse to give more thanks to the Guru, I feel like, on Guru Purnima, because it's, you know, it's a regulated day, and it's astrologically correct. So there's all of those aspects. But every single day, I actually can honestly say I think about Sanatana Goswami every single day, because he is so interwoven in our bhakti practice, you know, from the Hari Bhakti Vilas to particularly the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I mean, even that huge work, you know, what's that work about? What is Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita about? It's about a person, you know, a soul, who is trying to find who is the best devotee of Krishna. Who is the best? Who's the topmost? And he goes all over the universe looking for the topmost devotee of the Lord, right? That's the base. That's what this literature is about. And then, you know, we have to think, and it's a beautiful whole adventure. You know, we can live it. We live this whole adventure through the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. It's quite fantastical, and it's just beautiful. But then we're thinking, if we drill down, what's he doing this for? Why is this person doing this? Because so many times in that literature, Gopakumar gets to different points, and he's like, oh wow, this is the best. He keeps finding something, and they're so convincing, you know. This is the best, this is the best. This is the topmost, this is the topmost. So when we drill down to that mood, you know, he's still looking, you know, he's still looking. You're looking and looking and looking. The mood is you want to surrender and find out you really want to connect with Krishna. What is the best way to connect with Krishna? How do I connect with Krishna? I'm an infinitesimal spark of Krishna's splendor, right? We're infinitesimal parts and parcels. What can little old me, what can I do to connect with Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? What can I do? Well, guess what? Everybody's potency and everybody's probability is infinite. We're all limitless in our abilities to connect with Krishna. We really are. We might think that there's some limit, and there's always the bodily constraints. There's time constraints. There's all these constraints. We think there's all these constraints. But you know what? There's actually not, because we realize that Krishna provides what we lack. He carries what we have, and he provides what we lack. I think it might actually be the reverse, but it can be either way. Sometimes we feel it. We get to a point and we're like, oh my gosh, no more uncle. But Krishna swoops in. Prabhupada actually, I find, swoops in always, just praying a little to Prabhupada or hearing the transcendental sound vibration from Prabhupada. Anytime if you pick any class, and I particularly like the sort of the streaming classes of Prabhupada that you might find, or even sometimes on social media, something will pop up and it will be so relevant to whatever's going on in my heart and in my mind at the time. The guru's always there, Okay, maybe we only celebrate once a year. We might only think of the disappearance of Sanatana Goswami once a year or twice a year, his appearance. But actually, the guru promises, when we surrender to the guru, he promises that he will be there 100% of the time for us. And any time that we just think of the guru, we turn that on, we flip that on. I mean, sure, we can turn it off. We can just, leave that over there. Although the guru's not necessarily over there, he's still here and he still knows. But we can leave that over there and neglect. But why? That's just prolonging the inevitable, actually. It's prolonging what we're doing here. And I think that, personally speaking, I really don't want to be here any longer than I have to be, honestly. This material creation is here, it's set up so we can be reformed and we can understand our constitutional position. And once we've understood it, even to a minimal degree, we're given so many opportunities by reading about these wonderful personalities, by reading about the acharyas, by reading about Krishna, by serving continually. We're given that opportunity to make even incremental daily advancement, to move out of this sort of position in this material world, to be able to transition to a different level, a higher level. And yes, even in this material world, we can experience bliss, we can experience bhava even, that's stated in our scriptures. We can actually attain that state. But there's so many chances for fall down at all of these junctures until we're completely pure. There was an incident where I saw two animals on my front porch looking like they were going to have a tussle. And one animal was growling at the other animal, and the animal that was trying to get in, wanted food. It was trying to meet a need. And I was a little worried because the animal growling is injured. So I was kind of thinking about the animal species, and do animals have envy? Is that something that animals can process? Because, we hear animals don't incur karma. They they only eat, sleep, mate, and defend. They don't really have very much, they don't have any reasoning, right? That's what we've read, that animals don't really have powers of reason. So thus they can't understand how to connect with Krishna. They don't know about devotion. They can't understand devotional service. So I asked my guru, are animals envious? Do animals have envy? Because it seems like a strange concept. When I think of envy, I think of, persons being envious of another person for various reasons, right? That's what we think of. And he actually said that everyone who isn't pure has envy. Everyone that isn't pure that has envy. So that's going to include animal bodies, which is kind of shocking, That's why they're animals. So, we're fortunate enough to have received this luxurious human body with some powers of reasoning. And, even in that human body, we know that not everybody is able or capable of understanding, of understanding this bhakti process, of understanding the importance of connecting with Krishna, of understanding Sanatana Goswami's exalted position. He's such a humble personality. He's like the emblem also of humility. When he got to the point of being able to see, he left all of his obligations behind. He left all of his designations, his upadhis. He was just going there just to be a servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he did have one thing that was given to him along the way, was this very nice chadar, this nice woolen shawl, very fine. And when he got to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked him to shave up. He asked him to, hair, beard, clean up, because he had been traversing many days through the mountains and through jail and through so many averse conditions. He still had this chadar because he didn't have any cloth. He had one torn sort of lungi that he had gotten, but he still had this chadar. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't even have to speak with him about it. Sanatana Goswami could see it was such an incongruous look. He's now in the dress ostensibly of a Babaji practically, but he has this super nice, beautiful woolen chadar. He went and he traded it at the ghat for, just some torn quilt that he could keep himself warm with. He's so humble that nobody had to speak with him about any of his material supposed attachments. He was simultaneously able or already able to give up those things and then go around and do exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to do. Establish temples, revive the bhakti cult, write literatures, teach everybody about these things. And some of the things that he discusses, particularly in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, they're very pointed. They're so pointed and they're so, some of the things sound a little shocking, I would say, in our day and age. Even as bhakti practitioners, they are a little bit like, wow, I don't know if I could get to, personally, I don't know if I can get to some of the levels that he's talking about. But he elucidates very succinctly how not to act, how not to act and how to conduct oneself as a Vaishnava. And only one that has some abject humility and obviously that authority from a greater personality would be able to talk like this, would be able to discuss these topics, because they're delicate. They're delicate and they might be harsh to the ego, but someone that is devoid of that false ego and has so much humility as Sanatana Goswami had, not that the 6 Goswamis didn't have, but it seems like he was especially empowered to have this position of complete abject humility and to connect with those persons that have some favorable impressions, to allow them to get a little bit deeper into their devotional service, namely all of the Govardhan Basis at the time. You know, there was so many people that he could instruct, and he did. But he chose to be there. And if anybody has been to Govardhan and seen his beautiful temple of Madan Mohan, and also his, I can remember it extremely clearly, his samadhi, you know, that overlooks the Jamuna. You know, he's a very, very special personality that was able to, and still does today, guide us all and direct us on how best we can connect with Krishna, how best we can revive our knowledge of our constitutional position of being dasanu, 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 das. And by his humility, actually serving those residents of Govardhan, also being a dasanu, dasanu, das. He was serving those residents of Govardhan in so many ways, and they held great affection for him for that. There's just one thing out of there's a literature called the Bhakti Ratnakara, and it's the jewel-filled ocean of bhakti. That's actually the translation of this. It speaks about so many loving instances of how devotees can, various exalted devotees that we know, everybody's mentioned here, Raghava Pandit, you know, even Lord Nityananda, just so many personalities that we can imbibe this mood from, or we can study and actually, you know, understand a little bit. And I guarantee if you read about some of the pastimes of great personalities in Krishna's service, something resonates, you know. I mean, everybody has their own internal, like, deep mood in the heart, you know. Something will resonate. Something will give rise to some glimmer of how we can conduct ourselves. The Vrajavasi's behavior towards Sanatana Goswami from town to town. After staying in one town, when Sanatana would go to another town, the people would follow behind him. Whether a young boy or old man, whoever it was, all would lose their patience and cry as the Goswami would leave. He'd endeared himself so much. Sanatana Goswami himself would shed tears as he solaced them and sent them back to their own homes. Only after they all stopped crying and returned to their houses would Sanatana leave for the next village. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would just sort of leave everybody behind, say, see you later, I'm going on a pilgrimage. But not when, and they would all faint. But not Sanatana. He would wait until everybody was solaced and placated and go back to their homes. And then he would leave out of sight. As Sanatana approached the next village, the people would watch him coming from a distance. Whether young or old, man or woman, everyone would say, here is Rupa, Sanatana. The Vrajavasis displayed wonderful affection. The villagers could not sit in one place, but went to welcome Sanatana. Just as a poor man experiences unlimited happiness if he suddenly obtains a valuable jewel, so the Vrajavasis felt unlimited happiness by seeing Sanatana. And just, I'm sure all of you know this pastime, but it begs to reason when they're talking about the jewel. You know, Sanatana Goswami held a touchstone that he just threw in the trash and sat down to, you know, do his meditation, his writing, continue his devotional service, and some very eager person wanted this touchstone to be rich and turned it into gold, and Sanatana Goswami was like, oh, it's over there in the trash, you can take it, you know. He didn't care. He didn't care because he already had the topmost knowledge of this devotional service. So anywhere you read about Sanatana Goswami is all nectar. I encourage everyone to read about it, particularly on Guru Purnima, because he's one of our gurus. He's our Sambandha Gyan guru. All glories to Sanatana Goswami. All glories to our beloved Guru Devs, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Kriya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Maybe we can sing all together. It's a longer bhajan. We haven't sung in a while. It's a favorite. Page 47. I'll sing kind of fast. Should we follow or just sing along together? Krishna Kirtana Gana Nardana Paro Prema Ritavo Nidhi Dira Dira Jana Priya Priya Karo Nirmatsaro Pujito Sri Chaitanya Kripa Baro Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavarantarako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalago Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadama Sastapako Lokanamittakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyako Sri Jiva Gopala Go Sri Gauranga Gununavana Navido Shraddha Samridhyan Vito Papotapa Nikrindano Tanubritam Govinda Ganamritai Anandam Buddhivadanaika Nipuno Kaivalya Nistarako Vande Upajanatana Sri Jiva Gopala Go Tyakta Tumanda Shesha Mandalapati Sri Nim Tada Chuchavat Bhuvadina Ganesha Karunaya Kopina Kanta Srito Gopi Bhava Sasamritabditalati Kalola Magnamoho Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyako Sri Jiva Gopala Go Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Nativi Kalavasani Krito Nidrahara Viharakari Vijito Chatyanta Dino Chayo Radha Krishna Guna Smritir Madhuribhuna Nandena Samhohito Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyako Sri Jiva Gopala Go Kuja Kokila Hamsa Sarasagana Kirne Maya Ruruke Nana Radna Nibada Mula Vitapa Sri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Mahanisham Prabhajato Jivarta Doya Muda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyako Jiva Gopala Go Radha Kunda Tate Kalendai Tanaya Tire Chavam Sivate Prema Mandavasara Shesha Dasaya Grasta Brahmato Sada Gayanto Chagada Hare Gunavaram Bhava Vibhuta Muda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyako Sri Jiva Gopala Go He Radhe Vraja Devi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suno Kuta Sri Govardhana kalpa pradapatale kalindivane kuta go santa viti sarvato brajapure ke dharma vivalo Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopala Go Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare. Read the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are all honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of, because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very much enriched in understanding of Lord Chaitanya and who are thus expert in narrating his transcendental qualities. They can purify all conditioned souls from the reactions of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. As such, they are very expert in increasing the limits of the ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are the saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who kicked off all association of aristocracy as insignificant in order to deliver the poor conditioned souls. They accepted loincloths, treating themselves as mendicants, but they are always merged in the ecstatic ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna and bathe always and repeatedly in the waves of that ocean. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who were always engaged in worshiping Radha Krishna in the transcendental land of Vrindavan, when there are beautiful trees of fruits and flowers which have under the roots all valuable jewels. The Goswamis are perfectly competent to bestow upon the living entities the greatest boon of the goal of life. I offer my respectful obeisances under the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who were engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord and bowing down in a scheduled measurement. In this way, they utilized their valuable lives. In executing these devotional activities, they conquered overeating and sleeping and were always meek and humble, enchanted by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were sometimes on the bank of the Radhakund Lake or the shores of the Jamuna and sometimes of Bamsi Bhat. They appeared just like madmen in the full ecstasy of love for Krishna, exhibiting different transcendental symptoms in their bodies, and they were merged in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan? Are you under the trees on the bank of the Jamuna? Where are you? These are their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. Haribol, Srinivasacharya. Ki jai. Do darpana majna, avamahagda vagni nirvana.
Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam. Boy, they're stunning. Nandam Buddhi Vardhanam Patit Haranam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Bakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadaram Najanam Nasundarim Gavitam Va Jagarisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Varanam Gadgaduridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadam Pratam Astumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatava Vidadatu Lampato Na Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I'm so unfortunate